Meet Susan Worley. Like millions of other Americans, she voted yesterday. But did she need an ID to vote?
No. No, nobody asked me for an ID. And in fact, there was a big sign up that said no voter ID required.
And Worley thinks that's the way it should be. But UNC senior Matthew Harris thinks ID laws are a good thing.
It's good to, prove citizenship when you come to vote. At the same time, I think efforts should be made to help those who are perfectly qualified but struggle in actually getting an ID.
No form of identification is currently required in North Carolina. But could voter laws in other states be discriminatory?
This is a map of voter ID laws in the U.S. The 7 blue states have the strictest laws. The red, orange, and yellow states have laws in place, but less strict. 18 states and D.C., here in the green, have no voter ID requirements. But what if your state does have a law? Well, that could be a problem for the 25% of blacks, 20% of Asians, or 19% of Latinos who don't have valid photo IDs.
UNC political science professor Dr. Kevin McGuire says the intent of the law is what matters.
If it was put in place specifically to try to keep non-whites from participating, then that would be very troubling, not only from a kind of democratic standpoint, but from a legal standpoint.
Worley says the ID laws aren't just racially discriminatory.
I think there's been a concerted effort to stop certain groups from voting, including minorities and people in poverty, felons.
But if and how these laws affect the election is yet to be seen. In Chapel Hill, I'm Caleb Waters, reporting.
Up on the October 10th edition of Sports Extra, Hurricane Matthew wreaked havoc on Kenan Stadium Saturday. See how the horrific conditions helped send Carolina's Coastal Hopes to the sideline.
Another top 15 team entered Henry Stadium, and another top 15 team fell to the hottest squad in Chapel Hill.
And you may have heard of deceptive speed, but what about deceptive strength? One UNC student shows how big things can come in small packages. All that and more, Sports Extra,
coming at you.
And it was also a weekend full of women's soccer. It started off with a bang as the sixth-ranked Heels rock-chalked the Jayhawks on Friday in the second round of the NCAA tournament. The Heels look to keep their NCAA championship hopes alive, and freshman Madison Schultz did her part to make that happen. She put away that beauty in the 53rd minute and put the Heels up 1-0. In front of a crowd of almost 2,000 people, Junior Meyerworth deflects across late in the game and puts the Heels up 2-0 to seal the deal. Carolina moves on to the third round of the tournament against the Clemson Tigers. And on Sunday, a sea of blue and orange was divided in the stands, and on the field, colors clashed. Clemson totaled an aggressive 14 fouls. UNC halved that with 7. The game remained scoreless for the first 70 minutes until Dorian Bailey saw her opportunity, and she's going to take it, floating this one just out of reach of the Clemson keeper. The sophomore's 4th goal of the season, and it punched the Heels' ticket to the quarterfinals against South Carolina. Now that is something to cheer about.
You know, Rivers, that routine looked a lot like my workout routine, which I could easily take you through. But the key is the diet, really. It's all about that that protein.
Yeah, creatine, protein, all the teens.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that's about how much you bench is in the teens. I think that does it for this edition of Sports Extra. Me and Caleb Waters, little guy over here.
Thanks for watching. Good night.
Good night.
Lynn, I'm here at Fetzer Field where the 2017 spring football game just ended, and you may think that Fetzer sounds like a weird place for a football game. Well, that is due to some construction that is going on right over there at Kenan Stadium, so they had to play the game here at Fetzer Field. And the national championship basketball game was less than a week ago, but already Carolina fans are moving on to football, and there's a lot of speculation going into this upcoming season. Most notably, who's going to replace number 10? Quarterback Mitchell Trubisky should hear his name called early on April 27th in the first round of the NFL draft. But the quarterback battle right now is up for grabs. Could go to Chaz Surratt, could go to Nathan Elliott, or could go to the LSU grad transfer Brandon Harris, who's coming over. He hasn't signed officially yet, but all signs point to the fact that he will be here at UNC when the season starts. Now, obviously, a lot can happen between now and the start of the season, so we'll keep you updated on everything that's happening in UNC football. Back to you.
Let's go live to Carmichael Gym and volleyball guru Caleb Waters. Caleb?
Thanks, Rivers. Like so many of the other Carolina fall teams right now, this volleyball team is having a top 25 season of its own. And it's been the Tar Heels' defense that's given them so much success thus far in the season. Guys, with a balanced offense and a defense, count these Tar Heels in as a dark horse candidate for the national title. They're the best team right now in the conference, so they should be a favorite to win the ACC. But I don't think it'll be before tournament time that we really see the true strength of this squad. So now I'll bump it back to you guys so you can set up the rest of the show. Rivers?
Basketball basketball season is over, so that means we have to wait until next year for another UNC Duke game. But Caleb Waters is live to tell us how the rivalry lives on. Caleb?
Kendra, I'm here at Southern Community Park, where you can see behind me, Duke and UNC NBA students are competing for a blue cup. Now, it's not the kind of blue cup that you're going to find at the bar He's Not on Franklin Street. Great comment. That joke was made way too soon, and frankly, Alex and I are no longer on speaking terms. The good news is, though, is that Alex was wrong, because going into this soccer game right behind me, UNC was leading the competition 6-2, and they only need 10 wins to get this right here, the prestigious blue cup. Now, the competition ends on Thursday, so I'll be back next week to bring you guys the final results.